Welcome to Tech Blueprint, a window that lets you know the latest technology news in the world. While the United States is shouting that it will block China's semiconductor industry, it has discovered that its ally Japan has begun to purchase Chinese chips in large quantities. Does this sound a bit funny? It was originally thought that everyone would obey the US sanctions, but Japanese companies rushed to buy them. Not only did they not obey, but they took advantage of the situation and got a big bargain. The United States tried every means to strangle the neck of Chinese chips, but the reality is that its allies have become loyal customers of Chinese chips. What is going on? Did Japanese companies really see the business opportunity, or is there something else going on? The story started in early 2025. At that time, the US government strengthened sanctions on China's semiconductor industry. The list became longer and longer, and the restrictions became more and more stringent. According to their idea, they wanted to completely cut off China's access to advanced chips and stagnate China's technology industry. Logically, as an ally of the United States, Japan should cooperate with this action and reduce or even stop semiconductor trade with China. But the reality did not develop according to the US script. Japanese chip companies not only did not reduce their purchases of Chinese chips, but increased their imports, and even stockpiled more than usual. This makes people wonder what Japanese companies are thinking. Is it purely for making money, or are they suspicious of the US sanctions policy? The tighter the US blockade of China's semiconductor industry, the more Chinese chip companies have caught up and gradually gained a foothold in mature processes. Although China's chips still have a gap in the high-end field, they are already very competitive in the mid and low-end markets, with low prices, stable quality, and a complete supply chain. Japanese companies have keenly captured this market opportunity. While the United States is tightening its blockade, they quickly stockpiled goods to ensure that their supply chain is not affected. At the same time, the United States is also constantly putting pressure on Japan to reduce its purchases of chips from China. But Japanese companies are not fools. They have experienced the ups and downs of the semiconductor industry and know that US policies may change at any time. It is China that can truly provide chips stably. What's more, the United States itself has also suppressed Japan's semiconductor industry, causing Japan to lose its dominant position in this field. Today, Japan is no longer willing to obey the United States completely, but chooses to find its own way of survival in the Sino-US technology war. While the United States continues to increase sanctions, the actions of Japanese companies have surprised the entire international market. In February 2025, it was revealed that several chip trading companies in Japan were stepping up the purchase of mature process chips from China and supplying them to the global market through different channels. This means that the US plan to influence the global supply chain by blocking Chinese chips is being quietly disintegrated by Japanese corporate behavior. What's more interesting is that Korean companies are also watching Japan's attitude. If Japan dares to take the lead in not listening to the orders of the United States, Korean companies will not be willing to be the most obedient country. After all, the semiconductor industry is a globalized industrial chain, and no one wants to put their own companies in trouble for political reasons. In the end, Japan's choice caused cracks in the US sanctions policy. Although the United States can still restrict China's access to the most advanced chips through various means, in the field of mature processors, China's chips can still enter the global market through channels such as Japan. This is not only a market opportunity for the Chinese semiconductor industry, but also an indirect counterattack against the US blockade policy. At the same time, this wave of reverse operations by Japanese companies has also called into question the control of the United States over its allies. After all, if even its closest partners are unwilling to obey completely, how long can the United States technology blockade policy last? Looking at these comments, one can't help but wonder, is the US blockade policy suppressing China, or is it helping China's semiconductor industry create new market opportunities? The US blockade of China's semiconductor industry seems tough, but in fact it is full of loopholes. The buying spree of Japanese companies makes people wonder, is the US sanctions policy intended to protect its own technological advantages? Or has it become a money-making opportunity for some countries? If even allies are unwilling to fully implement the US blockade, how long can this sanction last? More importantly, can China's chip industry find a new breakthrough in this storm and achieve true technological independence?